Hello guys, and welcome to a new Total War Warhammer 2 playthrough today by me, Vulcan. As you can see, I've loaded up the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, and we are going to be starting a new campaign as Malekith on Mortal Empires, playing on very hard difficulty. This is because you guys voted for it on the latest poll. I think you guys really wanted to see the Steel Faith Overhaul mod in action, and that's what I'm going to be giving to you guys today. So Malekith, what an absolute badass he is. Let's check out the faction effects. So we get the attribute of Unbreakable for Blackguard of Naggarond units. That's faction wide, absolutely insane. Malekith gives a percentage of XP earned to other lords. Diplomatic relations plus 30 with the Cult of Pleasure. Plus 2 loyalty for new recruits is always nice. Increased chance of loyalty loss for lords of a higher rank than Malekith, so we've got to keep Malekith top rank. Slave public order penalty minus 25%. Then the lord effects are enemy leadership minus 5 for enemy armies in the same region, and upkeep minus 25% for Blackguard of Naggarond, Dread Spears, Bleak Swords and Dark Shard units. So initially he's going to have a pretty vanilla army, but later on we can always spice it up a bit when we have the income. His additional starting units are Cold One Chariots, Blackguard of Naggarond and the Reaper Bolt Thrower. Let's jump on in.
Hail, dread scourge Malekith. You rule over a splintered people. Your realm is in decay, and there are many vile creatures who will attempt to stop your advance. The Druchii are fractured, yet many still know loyalty to your rule. Others, however, do not, and need bringing to heel. If they do not bend the knee to the Witch King, then they should be destroyed utterly. Beyond the northern watchtowers lurk the savage tribes of men, petty worshippers of the dark powers. Their ceaseless attacks upon your realm must end with their annihilation. In the meantime, you should unify the Druchii through either statecraft or by destroying would-be opposition. All will bow to the Witch King. All will yield to Malekith.
And here we are, in game. Let's read how they play. Slaves. Dark Elf factions capture slaves in battle. Slaves provide additional income, but can negatively affect public order. Slaves can also be sacrificed to perform rites. Black Arcs. By performing a sacrifice to Mathlan rite, Dark Elf factions may summon a mighty Black Arc. These powerful floating fortresses can be used far from home to raise armies, recruit units and support invasion forces with aerial bombardments. Our chapter objective has been issued to occupy, loot, raise or sack 3 different settlements. So, Steel Faith Overhaul mod, what does it do? Well, the best way to find that out is probably to check it out on Steam, because I'm not actually up to date on everything that it does change. I kind of just loaded up the mod because it was voted for in the poll. However, I am aware that it does make lords in general more powerful. It also rebalances the factions, so elves, for example, have less men compared to Skaven, who now have like double the numbers they used to, but obviously each model has less health overall. So we'll have to see how that all works out. And this is more going to be a campaign of finding out the differences as we go along and sort of discussing the changes that happen. Now what we're going to be doing is going for short campaign victory initially, and if I feel like I like the pace of the mod, like the changes in the mod, then we may continue it to long campaign victory, maybe even world domination at the end of the day. This may be a campaign that lasts a while, but we'll go for short campaign victory first and we'll carry on from there if I want to. Okay, so here we are. We've got 5,000 cash to start. We only have 1 province by the looks of things, which is pretty hardcore for a start, and it's not even upgraded. It starts at level 1. Fantastic. We are already at war with Haggrafe, who have 3 settlements. Seems fair. And if we jump into our diplomacy, we are also at war with Clan Septic. Now, alongside the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, I have added some mods from the collection, the sub-mods, in order to customize it the way I wanted. For example, the banners you can see are a little bit different. It's just mainly graphics updates and stuff like that. Graphics mods, that is. Okay, so we can either attack Hagreif, or what we can do is head up to Har Caldera, which I assume is occupied by Skaven, because it's very unlikely that they're just not occupied at all. And I think what we're going to do is start by trying to conquest the Iron Mountains and get this province online. So let's start by moving towards the settlement of Har Caldera, and what I'll do is recruit some troops. Now, these actually cost quite a lot. Let's grab a couple of Dread Spears and a Dark Shard unit. That'll do nicely. May as well put Hagrin in the army. That will help her level up quickly when we go into battle and so on. This has unlocked the right sacrifice to Hecate. Mistress of Magic is very choosy about who is sacrificed to her. Only those touched by sorcery may be offered. In return, she brings the winds of magic. Alright, let's have a look at our rights. This is something that the High Elves and Dark Elves have access to. So that sacrifice to Hecate would reduce cooldown on spells, give extra experience gain for sorceresses, winds of magic starting amount plus 30, experience per turn plus 200 for sorceresses, and hero action success chance plus 40% for sorceresses. That's pretty nice. Let's see what the sacrifice to Athati does. That gives us extra Lord loyalty. I think there's a potential on turn start to do that. Plus 10 public order for all provinces is really nice actually. Income from slaves extra, and slave decline rate minus 25%. That costs 500 slaves to perform. Really nice right that we're probably going to keep up most of the time. It does have a 20 turn cooldown duration though, and only lasts for 5 turns itself. Sacrifice to Mathlands, just get those black arcs, and then the sacrifice to Cain gives us extra casualty replenishment rate, extra casualties captured, extra melee attack. Is that faction wide? That'd be really nice. Slave decline rate is extra though, and income from post-battle loot plus 50%. Wow. And then the Dark Conduit ability, which is extremely powerful on units that are small in number, because what you can do is just dive the unit into an enemy unit and then do the Dark Conduit. I think it just blows up around the unit, except from it doesn't harm your own units, so it's really, really strong in that respect. So I could just throw like Malekith into the middle of like a really elite unit and just blow it up. That's what it's used for. Okay, research available. Let's have a look at this. Driven by Vengeance gives us recruitment cost reduction for Dread Spears, Dark Shards, and Bleak Swords. Business as Battle as Business is extra income from raiding and income from post-battle loot. And then we have Founded on Tyranny, which is extra growth. I think what the main thing we want to be doing though is looking at the second tier. I see public order. Let's go towards that. Now, how much is the negative modifier for public order on very hard difficulty? It's actually only -2. That's quite generous. Although taxes is 6. So it looks like they've reduced the penalty from difficulty, but increased the penalty from taxes, because taxes in the base game is -4, I think. Alright, so we're going to have to figure out a way to get around that for the most part. But for now, there isn't much else to do. How much does this cost to upgrade? 2,000. That would only leave us with 300. And since we're recruiting more troops, our upkeep will go up, which means that our income will go down. So don't really want to be spending any more money for the time being. So we'll ignore that message and we'll carry on to the next turn. I really do like the look of these icons. Very professionally done. I will try to leave a link in the description to all of the mods that I'm using in this particular campaign. The plan just going to be to try and take Harkaldra from the Skaven, who I assume are there.
I hate snow.
But what is this? Capacity system. Steel Faith Overhaul 2 lets you decide how your campaign will play thanks to the caps system. You can decide which caps system you want to use. Faction-wide caps enables a system similar to the Tomb Kings, where unit types are limited and you must build buildings to extend the cap. Each faction also has unique mechanics to extend their unit caps. Army caps enables a system which limits how many unit types you can have in a single army. For example, you could only have X number of Swordmasters of Hoeth and Y number of Phoenix Guard per army. Faction-wide and army caps is, you guessed it, a combination of both systems. Note, enabling the cap system may make your game harder. The AI will also have the same limitations. For a full list of the capped units for both systems, see the SFO 2 mod page. Okay, your choice is final, so we can't change it later on. Well, I'm probably going to go for no caps for this campaign. This may be something that I explore in potential future campaigns. It does sound like an interesting system, but I potentially have submods that introduce more custom units, so I'm going to put it on no caps, since if we want to have our custom units in the campaign, we have to choose no caps. So we'll just do that for this one. But in future I might look into making things a bit more difficult and playing around with that. Or maybe just in my own time. Anyway, that's that sorted. Are we in range to attack Harkaldra? I hope we are, because that would be ideal. We are. Fantastic. Alright. Let's jump in and fight this on the battle map. You can see that these clan rat units have way more men than usual. 280. That's pretty nuts. So we have the potential to be completely swarmed here. Let's gamble for more wins. We're only on 19 and we can have up to 50 in Steel Faith. Very nice. So, depending on how much these spells cost, you could have a couple of mages in each army and cast 2 massive spells at the same time, since you can have a way higher amount of power at the same time. So things like, Wind of Death with the vampires, you could have 2 of them going. That would be pretty nuts. Or 2 Vortex, 2 Pit of Shades. I'm only referring to vampires because it's pretty fresh in my mind. I played so much of the vampires. But yeah, let's sort out our army. I probably just want to rush to the high ground here. We do have artillery, so they'll probably attack us. I don't think they have artillery of their own. Okay. Yeah, let's just start the battle. And we'll sort out our formation up here. I'm probably going to have our formation relatively tight. Let's have my elite units on the flanks, and we'll have our chariots over here. Make sure that my dark shards are up, and we will turn on guard and turn off skirmish. Make sure Malekith comes up here, but here comes the swarm. Oh boy. I think I might just try and run down some of these units. Can we just go straight through the clan rats? These are our Cold One chariots. Oh, lovely. Straight through. We'll just keep them running. Oh, looks like we are being flanked. Let's just attack them there. I could probably have Malekith get involved on the flanks as well. And what I'm probably going to do is have my Dark Shards attack the ranged units initially. Let's just make sure that we hold them off on the side here. That's pretty important. We'll probably want to fall back with these guys, because they are taking a lot of damage, we'll just have them come across and charge into these Night Runners and so on. Let's use some magic. This magic will do wonders to Skaven, actually. We'll throw a spell at the Skaven Slave Slingers as well. Just give them a fireball to the face.
Dark shards, red spears. Fight Drakira. We are ready.
Get in there, Dread Spears.
Dark shards.
Yeah, we should probably just keep hitting that Warlord. I don't mind them attacking that target at all. Let's throw a fireball down here now, if I can. Might not be a good idea to put it through the Blackguard and Nagarond. Yeah, that did right. Let's go for another spell. Where's Malekith going? He's just run off. Let's bring him back. We need him to probably take on this Warlord, if I'm completely honest.
We are ready.
We'll change the target here as well. How are they doing? They're gonna fire? And crossbows. I guess we could fire into that unit there. We have decent line of sight onto them.
Attack! Death!
Malekith.
Right, let's throw down a spell on this side with Malekith, and then we'll have him run and attack the Warlord.
The merciless host.
So I'm guessing that these Dark Shards are going to have a ton of kills, because there's just so many units here. These Skaven Slave units are the ones with 280 models, which is crazy.
The merciless host. By Cain.
Right, we've just activated Murderous Prowess. Lasts for 90 seconds. Gives us plus 25% melee attack. For units with already high melee attack, that's going to be pretty nuts in the future. Is Malekith attacking this guy? He should be. Yeah, he is. Good. We'll just get our Sorceress to attack him as well, since she does have some decent weapon strength. She actually has some pretty high melee attack, actually. So yeah, we have managed to make him rout, which is really good. I probably don't want to chase too much. It looks like we might win soon. Yeah, we've managed to make them break for the most part. And that's the Skaven leadership showing there. Okay, we'll end the battle. Not bad. They deployed 4,000 in that battle. The scale is certainly increased. Blackguard and Nagaron picking up 375 kills. Awesome. Love it. So Steel Faith Overhaul certainly showing it's much more lore-friendly in that sense, taking things to the extreme. But what do we want to do with this settlement? Do we want to take some slaves as we occupy it? I mean, I think there's potential for this to be a good idea, but I don't really want the minus 15 provincial instability. So I think we'll just occupy this one. And that has an artisan's house, which gives us extra income. How much does a settlement actually create? Only 30? Wow. How much does Nagaron do? 100, okay. But that also increases income from all buildings in the province. And also adjacent provinces by 15%. Oh, not bad, not bad. What else could we build here? We actually haven't jumped into the building browser yet. So we currently have the artisan's house. The only other choices would be the Dark Elf Manors, which gives us extra growth, and minus enemy leadership for enemy armies in the province. Or we could have conscription halls. I guess that's fine, actually. It's probably the best bet. Looks like the torture posts give public order, and so do the slave slums. I would assume that the slave slums are probably a better choice, especially for Naggarond, since we're going to have a lot of slaves in our main province. I believe garrisons actually are much bigger in Steel Faith Overhaul, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as we continue. But next up we'll move from Har Caldera to the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, and we shall continue to recruit while we're here. So let's go for maybe another 2 Dreadspears and another Dark Shards, just so that we have enough of a front line to keep them away from our ranged units. As for Malekith's Point, probably going to put it towards Route Marcher. It's always a solid choice. We've actually got 2 skill points. Interesting. I really want to get Seraphon. That's his dragon. We'll get that eventually. I should probably put some points into his magic, since it does look like magic's going to be pretty powerful, considering the amount of wins we had in that battle. Not going to bother upgrading that settlement. I don't think there's much point at the moment. That would use up the rest of our cash as well, so definitely not. Is there anything else I really want to look at here? We could go into diplomacy and see if there's anyone who wants to be our friend. At the moment, probably not. Okay. Yeah, we'll avoid that for now. Maybe they'll like us though when we start to go to war with particular factions. We don't have any slaves yet, but this is the slave management. You can choose whether or not you want to push slaves to particular provinces, because it does affect public order. Generally I turn off slaves going to new provinces, but our normal provinces or provinces we've had for a while will take slaves. I have played one campaign as the Dark Elves before. I did a Vortex campaign when the game originally came out, but obviously a lot's changed since then. Because there's also the Sword of Cain now available in this campaign, and that's something that we can decide to get eventually in order to buff up our lords. We will of course suffer from the public order penalty for having that though. Let's move on to the next turn. We'll just try and take on the Skaven as much as possible, and hopefully Naggarond can defend itself while we're doing this, because we are of course at war with Hagreif, who are next door. But you could see there the strength bar of Skaven was pretty bad. I'm guessing because we just destroyed the only army they had in Har Caldera. So, a good start, for sure. Imperial Peace. Rumours have been heard that Kislev the Emperor and the Elector Counts have made a secret arrangement to not attack each other. Are those rumours true? Choose the rumours are true to make all Imperial factions and Kislev not attack each other for the rest of the campaign. Also, all Imperial factions will declare on anyone that sacks, razes or occupies 3 or more Imperial cities in the original Imperial provinces. This can lead to a different campaign experience. Choosing the rumours are true will not change the diplomacy between these factions. Or are not true, sorry. I mean, honestly, I kind of like this idea. I think we'll say the rumours are true, because that will create a united empire. that when we attack it, maybe later in the campaign, will provide a much greater challenge. So it'll be a good sort of late game thing to have. So we'll go for that, assuming that they survive the other attacks that will come upon them. Because you'd expect like the Empire to stand together in times of crisis, right? And then maybe bicker between them otherwise. But considering the AI is pretty aggressive in Warhammer 2, I think that's quite a nice change. Okay, we have the settlement upgrade available again, but we're not going to do that. Let's continue towards the Altar of Ultimate Darkness. I mean, maybe we could just move to the edge of our province so that we maintain the replenishment. Or, depending on how much we need to raid, we could just move into the enemy province and start raiding. Just trying to see how much that would require to start raiding. Does it not actually affect?
Let none live.
I don't think it affects our movement range. Druki Strike does. That requires 25%, but gives us extra charge bonus and vanguard deployment. That's pretty cool. I like that. Dark Channeling reduces charge bonus, but reduces enemy leadership in the province. That could be nice as well. Ambush and March. Okay, let's do the Dark Channeling. Because we're up against Skaven, so that makes sense, right? Cool. Seems like a pretty intense bonus though, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'm pretty broken, but oh well. Let's just move on to the next turn. We'll see about attacking that settlement. I don't think there's actually many things we would really want to keep an eye on. Maybe Hagreif attacking Nagarond. But otherwise, we should be fine. I can't really tell if the end turn's moving faster than it normally does. But there are, of course, a lot of factions.
Gifts from Cain.
Beastmen rising. The number of beastmen has grown in recent years. Deep in the forests of the old world, in hidden caves and secluded desert regions, they are waiting for their time to come. Will the tribes leave their homes to plague and destroy the civilizations of men, dwarves, and elves? Choosing yes will enable the beastmen invasions in the mid and late game. This will make the game easier if you play Chaos or Beastmen. I really despise Beastmen rising up randomly in the middle of provinces, so I think for this one we're just gonna say no, because there are certain things about Warhammer 2 that I love and other things that I hate. And yeah, the random armies that pop up in your lands just out of nowhere are really irritating. I don't mind Chaos because it kind of comes from a specific area, and I think they should probably do the same with Beastmen, rather than Beastmen just randomly popping out of nowhere. But there we go. Anyway, that's done, so let's carry on. We'll hit the Altar of Ultimate Darkness. I'll go into Dark Channeling, and we will just encircle that for now because I want to actually level up our sorceress first.
A bloodthirsty fiend.
I'm going to actually put the point into scouting just so that we can get some extra magic items over the course of the campaign.
Hey! Come, Druki, to battle.
It should be a relatively simple battle though. Now that we have more men, they won't be able to surround us as much. We're up against Metable the Mad. Is that Metable or Metable? Oh well. Right, let's come over to this right side. I think we'll just sit here. These Skaven maps are really dark. Barely see what's going on. Right, that'll do. Let's start the deployment, start the battle. And one good thing we can do here is actually tuck up against this left side so that we can't get surrounded. Which I can probably go all the way across. We just don't want to be in a position where we're charged from uphill. Although, I guess even if we are, it gives good shots for our crossbows. And this might work out quite well. I'll just put these into multi-shot. I forgot to do that in the last battle, actually. This will do a lot of damage to Skaven units. They might actually try and come all the way around the back, in which case it might be worth having like Malekith just stand on the flank. Or maybe we could put our Blackguard and Nagron there, or we could have these Dread Spears come back and put the Blackguard and Nagron at the front. That's probably a better idea. So we'll target the Night Runners with the artillery. Okay, good. Malekith can throw down his magic over here. Where is she? I think we'll bring her out in front of the Blackguard and throw a fireball down the line. Although it looks like this might be over pretty quickly.
Our sorcery is majestic. Fear me.
Alright, time to put another spell down. Very good.
Dealers in death. Cold-blooded killers. Carnage awaits.
And is that everything? I think it almost is. Let's charge down this guy with the chariots. We haven't used them yet.
Merciless host.
Sorceress of blood.
Keep throwing out fireballs.
And Aha. Setting forth.
And we'll run her back so she doesn't get charged.
I lust for slaughter.
Right, how are my Reaper Bolt throwers doing?
Understood. Murder awaits.
Probably want to move them back a bit.
Shots. True heir of Anarium.
They're all running away again though, so that's good. We're still chasing down this dude. Pushed him off the battlefield. That's great. That should affect their leadership. It has done. And that is job done. Easy battle, that one. Off to a good start. I think we just keep up the momentum. We should just be able to take back this entire province pretty quickly. If we let them build up, however, then we may be in trouble. But yeah, I think now that we actually have a sizable army, that shouldn't be a problem. The worst part is when you allow yourself to be surrounded by the AI's flanking moves. So let's just occupy that. And we push back that army. But that's going to give us another artisan's house with more income. And Calador's Bane is ours.
My cruelty knows no limits.
Okay, now we can
A bloodthirsty fiend.
level her up. Oh, she got 2 skill points again. Right, I think we just get 2 skill points per level. I actually quite like that because it allows you to kind of customize your dudes a bit more. The infamous Raider one's pretty nice. I'm just going to go through this and see if anything's worth getting. Quartermaster's really, really nice. We'd have to put 4 points into here, so maybe the Dreaded Slaver would be good. Infamous Raider is only good if we raid, and we don't really sack settlements much. We're more likely to occupy or loot and occupy. Let's get Blade Wind. And I'll also get the Word of Pain abilities. Just give us more magic to use. That Vortex spell is actually pretty nice. If we can hit like large units of Skaven. We're not going to settlement upgrade, but we have been getting quite a lot of money from these battles. I think it's just post-battle loot paying off quite nicely. Okay, we'll move on to the next turn. I'm probably just going to go straight to Rakdo Gorge. Assuming that the Altar of Ultimate Darkness does actually get a garrison. Because if it doesn't, then that one dude can probably take it back. But so far, a great start. Really happy with how this is going. I was a bit worried that we started with only one province, or one region. But taking this province hasn't been too bad so far. And once we get larger battles, things may change a bit, especially when we start fighting the Dark Elves. I think at the moment we beat on the Skaven pretty hard because it's the early game. I'm very tempted to attack this guy. Yeah, I think we'll just finish him off so he's not behind our lines, and then we can just march in the opposite direction. Enemy killed in battle, good. Right, march back, that gives us the extra points. Do Spiteful Conjuration. I don't think I really want to use Power of Darkness much, because that does cause damage to self. So we'll upgrade Blade Wind, then we can get Evasion, and we can unlock Doom Bolt, Soul Stealer, and so on.
Malicious and cruel.
We'll get the Burning Head for her. And Kindle Flame. And we're not going to upgrade any of these settlements. Actually, let's start upgrading Nagarond. Should be able to take Rakdo Gorge, right? And then that will sort out our income for the most part. Thing is, if we don't start investing our money, we're never going to make money unless I start disbanding troops, which we could do after taking Rakdo Gorge, maybe. But we're better off making money by taking settlements, I think. Let's delay that a little longer, just so that we can continue to be in a deficit. Just in case. So this is actually my first delve into mods on this channel. And so far, I'm enjoying myself. It hasn't changed as much as I thought it would compared to the base game. It still feels like the same game. Especially considering it's supposed to be an overhaul mod. I find that a little strange, but maybe I was expecting a bit much. But I do like the way in which Skaven has actual hordes of rats now. Although they are a pain in the ass, I do like that change. Looks like we are actually in range. Oh no, we're not, of Rakdo Gorge. I was hoping we were, but we're not. Well, we can go into the Dark Channeling stance again and just start raiding their lands. Although we would take attrition, so I don't know about that. We'll just move down here, maybe go into ambush. Yeah, we'll move here. We'll go into ambush stance. Maybe we can kill an army if it tries to move through.
Death awaits them. King of the troops.
Wait, never mind. We'll move back so that we're not taking attrition.
Carnage awaits.
And then I guess we'll go into Dark Channeling because we can't go into ambush anymore. And that's about it. Okay. And unfortunately, guys, it has been my time. I'm going to leave it here. So for the rest of this campaign, I'm going to aim for 40-minute episodes, maybe 45, depending on whether or not there's a big battle that's going on. I'm not going to necessarily care too much about going over the time limit if there's a big battle that we're playing out, but I'm going to aim for 40-minute episodes. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. But for now, that's it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the introduction to this Steel Faith Overhaul mod campaign playing as Malekith on very hard difficulty. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Goodbye.